Senate Republicans are furious at former President Donald Trump for blowing up the bipartisan immigration deal. Lately, Trump has been telling Republicans, both in private conversations and in public statements on social media, to oppose the border compromise, according to GOP sources familiar with the conversations. Wait, why? Why else? Politics, of course. Now, Donald Trump, it appears that he wants to campaign on the issue. That's one area, apparently, which Biden is considered to be weak. Oh, immigration. Republicans, of course, one of their main concerns, their top concern is immigration. And, of course, you also have Trump not wanting Biden to get a political win on that issue. A political win by giving them pretty much everything that they're asking for in this. And I'll go into the details, but Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell acknowledged in a private meeting on Wednesday that Trump's animosity towards the yet-to-be-released border deal puts Republicans in a serious bind. So, according to CNN, it has thrown Senate Republicans into confusion while heightening tensions as McConnell remains firmly behind the effort to strike a deal, according to attendees. So this is attendings to these meetings, that they're having in between Republicans, House and Senate Republicans specifically. So let's get to Republican Senator Mitt Romney, who talked to CNN. He says, "I think the border is a very important issue for Donald Trump. And the fact that he would communicate to Republican senators and congresspeople that he doesn't want us to solve the border problem because he wants to blame Biden for it is really appalling. But the reality is that we have a crisis at the border. The American people are suffering as a result of what's happening at the border." Really? Are they? I don't really see any evidence for that. There are people that are at the border that are suffering. The people that are attempting to claim asylum and get into the United States and have a better start, escape the violence, they're certainly suffering. But the average American person is not actually suffering as a result of what's going on in the border, okay? And someone running for president, not to try to get the problem solved, Romney continues, as opposed to saying, "Hey, save that problem, don't solve it. Let me take credit for solving it later." And now, here's the thing. This border deal wouldn't actually solve the problem. Just saying. Okay. What it would do is limit asylum and limit other ways that Biden has allowed people to escape from, for example, war zones to come into this country and work and live, even on a temporary basis. And again, I'll get into the details. But as far as Trump is concerned, Trump never solved this problem. He had 4 years, and actually the problem kind of got worse. The number of migrant apprehensions at the U.S.-Mexico border actually rose in 2019 to its highest annual level in 12 years. This was under Trump. The 851,508 apprehensions recorded from October 2018 to September 2019 were more than double the number of the year before, which was 396,579. Now, that said, COVID slowed down migration, but it has gone back up. Okay, people are coming to the border. They're coming into the United States and claiming asylum at pretty high levels now, and they're actually doing so from different countries. See, they're not just doing it, they're not just coming from Mexico, all right? They're not just Mexicans. I know that Republicans, especially Donald Trump, is like, they're coming from the Mexicans, the other Mexico, the three Mexicos or whatever he said. No, there's only one Mexico. I'm sorry, the three Mexican countries, that's what it is. There's only one Mexico, okay? And look, back in April 2020, people from Mexico and the Northern Triangle countries of El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras did account for the vast majority of people encountered at the border. That's changed. By November of 2022, a majority of the migrants encountered at the border are actually from countries like Colombia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Peru, and Venezuela. Now, here's the thing. Republicans getting into the details, right? Republicans have been looking to restrict some things, as I mentioned, restrict asylum by restricting what actually allows you to qualify to claim asylum, and also immigration parole. So Joe Biden has been using immigration parole extensively to allow people to come into the country. Now, what does that do? Parole allows migrants without visas to come in and live and work in the country if they further a humanitarian cause or add public benefit. Migrants paroled into the country are permitted to live and work into the country for a period of typically 1 to 2 years. So they're not going to be here forever. This parole just allows them to stay, again, for example, a Ukrainian refugee, okay, fleeing the Russian invasion. Biden says, well, come on over here, immigration parole. Ukrainian, you can stay here, work here until it kind of dies down over there, right? 1 or 2 years, whenever, right? And then maybe we'll look at a more permanent solution later on. But for now, you can come to safety. Great. Now, the law has been used by Biden to welcome in hundreds of thousands of, again, refugees fleeing Afghanistan, Ukraine, as well as places like Haiti and Venezuela. And so this deal, though, that they're negotiating in the Senate would limit that. And again, limit asylum in exchange for allowing Biden to send money to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. So that's what the Biden administration would get out of it, is we get to send more money to Ukraine and Israel. Yay! Now, Republicans get the massive restrictions on asylum, which have already been restricted during the Biden administration. So this would be a huge win for Republicans on the border. However, these Republicans, a lot of them were like, yeah, but if we do it now, that means Biden's going to get the credit, and we don't want that. That's why Donald Trump hates it. That's why Troy Nehls hates it. Nehls said, I think it was last month, I don't want to help Democrats get a win, so I'm not going to do anything that could possibly give them a political win. You also have House Freedom Caucus Chair Bob Good saying that passing this would, quote, give the Democrats political cover for the border crisis that they have intentionally created. Yes, they've intentionally created a border crisis. And not Congress, which has consistently failed to pass any form of immigration reform. You know, in all the time that I've been doing this, almost 10 years, I have not seen Republicans and Democrats pass any sort of immigration reform. Hasn't happened. They've talked about it a bunch. But at the end of the day, you've even had Republicans voting against their own bills on immigration reform because it's so unpopular with the base, because they don't want immigrants in this country at all. Just at all. They want to completely close the borders. Now, that said, on the other side of it, you have Senator Lindsey Graham saying, take the deal, idiots, morons, take the deal. He can see that it's a win. In fact, he said, quote, you're not going to get a better deal. Take it. To those who think that if President Trump wins, which I hope he does because it's Lindsey Graham, that we can get a better deal, you won't. Democrats have asked for absolutely nothing on that related to immigration. Nothing. No pathway to citizenship. Lindsey Graham says, you dopes! They're not even asking for a pathway to citizenship, which, by the way, is insanely popular among the American people. Some upwards of 80% of Americans are like, pathway to citizenship makes sense, right? Republicans, though, hate it. Oh my God, we're going to actually allow these people that come into the country to work hard and eventually become citizens through your work? No. Not over my dead body.
Can't let that happen.
So, no, I'm sorry. It's over my dead body. I don't know what I was saying there. But anyway, it's hard to get your mind into the mind of a MAGA person because it screws things up. You really have to lower your own IQ for a minute. It's hard to recover. Anyway, there's more. GOP Senator Todd Young of Indiana called any efforts to disrupt the ongoing negotiations tragic and said, I hope no one is trying to take this away for campaign purposes. I couldn't imagine anybody trying to do that. Gee, I wonder who he's talking about. Again, I'm thinking of the guy in the hot dog suit saying, "We're going to find the guys who did this. If this ends up failing." But look, they wouldn't blow up the deal just because Donald Trump doesn't like it, right? Oh, yeah, they would. Oh, one GOP senator said, told CNN that without Trump, this deal would actually have overwhelming support. Yeah, but now that Trump doesn't like it, suddenly, I don't know if we can get this passed. Oh, yeah, really just a really hard road. Okay, can't do it. GOP Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina, who has been involved in the talks, said he doesn't know if anyone could convince Trump not to kill the deal. But he called on Republicans to show courage. To which I say, oh, courage. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a real good one. Oh, wow. Senator John Thune said the discussions have reached a critical moment, but acknowledged that they may need to turn to a plan B. And what exactly is the plan B? Once again, Republicans have a sweet deal. All they have to do is just give Biden the ability to fund our allies overseas, right? To give Israel and Ukraine money that they're going to turn around and buy U.S. weapons with. It helps defense contractors, and they get massive decreases on immigration. What's the plan B? They're going to ask for more? Yeah, and you know what Democrats should do? Be like, no, we're not giving you any more because we're not getting anything out of this when it comes to immigration at all. Yeah, good luck with that. Now, of course, no Republican infighting segment would be complete without personal attacks on each other, which is fun. Senator Ron Johnson, for example, went after Mitch McConnell, saying that he took away the leverage by not tying Ukraine funding to actually securing the border. Quote, we were talking about funding for Ukraine, and all of a sudden he brings up the border, and then again lays out what I consider to be a pretty lame excuse, trying to shift blame to President Trump for, I would say, his failed negotiation. Mitch McConnell, a failed negotiator. I'm trying to blame Trump. But wait, Trump's out there telling everybody, don't take the deal. But it gets better. During a Tuesday conference lunch, things got heated. One Republican in the meeting said that lunch was, quote, nasty. It's an ugly place in the conference right now, the member said. People are attacking Mitch openly in a way I haven't seen to his face. To his face. Wow. So, yeah, there you have it. Republican infighting. Let them fight. And they're throwing away a win because Donald Trump wants to play politics. Hilarious.